Hi everyone, Diane here. Welcome to my studio. Today we're going to have a look at this new set of paints from MeiLiang, or however you pronounce that, which is all to do with Paul Rubens and Lightwish and all the rest of it. Don't ask me to explain, it's very complicated. But they have recently sent me this to review, and so that's what we're going to do. So here we are. This is the latest version of their 52 colour set, which is only currently available in the United States and the UK, unfortunately not in Canada. However, I am going to offer this as this week's giveaway for the end of August, to celebrate the end of our August Thursday giveaway program, which we've been running this summer just to keep things rolling and keep everyone on the ball. So if you're in Canada and you would like this, you better join in and enter the competition, hadn't you? And anyone who's in Europe as well, same deal. It's not available in Europe. It's available in the UK, but not in Europe yet. End of September, they told me. End of September. So don't panic. It will come eventually. Anyway, I don't know what the price is. I don't know, but you can find out if you go to Amazon, have a look. And inside, when you open this up, you will find, if you've got a set of these, you will already have this, and you're not going to be interested in this, but whatever. There's bits of paper. This is a swatch card, so you can, I've got another thing to do with swatch cards and swatch books and things like that coming soon, so watch out for that. There's something very interesting on its way to me right as we speak, but I'm not going to tell you any more about it than that. So that you can use to see what colours you've got, and we could do that in a minute. Then it comes with this, which is a bunch of paper, and I presume, shall I open it? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. If I'm going to give this away, I probably won't. I'll just leave it packed like that. And it looks like cold press. Yes, I'm sure it is. It's probably the same as the other Paul Rubens paper that we've got. And then we've got 52 colours. They've ditched the pastel colours, and we have a very large range now of standard colours, plus there's a marker pen or a fine liner, a pencil, a little brush, which, if it's the same as the one in the other set, which I gave to a friend, it's got a nice one of these obliquely cut handles like that, so you can use that for scratching out if you want to, and it's transparent perspex. It's quite nice. It looks like a very pointed hair there, so that ought to be good. Ought to be. I think it probably is. And then you've got a little bit of foam there for drying off your brush in between strokes. This, of course, comes out if you can get your fingernails into it. I know it does. It will. I'll just find something to lift it out with. There we go. Just slide a knife in there and Bob's your uncle. You could use this for mixing in if you wanted to, and likewise you can use this as well for mixing. So it's divided into sections, so it's obviously intended for that. So if you were traveling with this set, you would be able to do that. You don't need to take a palette with you. They'll set. Actually completely set. All you need is a pad of paper, really, and you're all ready to roll. So what have we got here? We have got very small writing on these. We've got white, lemon yellow, gamboge, cadmium yellow medium, permanent dark yellow, nickel yellow, orange, permanent orange red, light cadmium red, vermilion, scarlet, Chinese red, and it goes on. Is there anything missing? I'm looking for a few of my favourites, like burnt sienna. Let's see, Indian red, burnt umber, light brown, natural yellow. No, we don't seem to have burnt sienna. Have we got ultramarine? Yes. Have we got cadmium red? Yes. Have we got alizarin crimson? No, but we have got permanent rose and carmine and purple red. Quinacridone rose, that's good. Very good. And 5 greens: deep emerald, permanent green, light green, yellow green, light cobalt turquoise, and down here we've got phthalo green, blue. So plenty of greens to mix your leaf colours and so on and so forth with. And in order to get into these, you're going to have to unwrap them. Let's see how hard they are to unwrap, because to me this is one of the disadvantages of these kinds of paints, but that looks like it's going to be pretty easy. That's silver, so that will be gold. Okay, so that was not even stuck actually. That wasn't stuck, so that's that. So if they're all, yeah, there's a tiny, tiny little bit of glue on there, but hardly anything. It's more stuck to the paint. So what I think I'll probably do, what am I going to do? Shall I use these paints to do a painting with, or shall I just leave them the way they are? I mean, basically, they're going to be the same as any other MeiLiang paints, aren't they? So I think that's probably what I'll do. So I think now I'm going to put this all away. And if you want to enter the competition to win this and clear a small space in one of my drawers here, please enter it by just posting, do a like, and make sure you're subscribed, and leave a message in the comments below telling me how much you would love to win this. I'm not sure what it's worth, probably about $40 or $50, I suppose. I'm not sure exactly. I could look it up, couldn't I? Perhaps I'll know when I come back in a minute to start painting. So I'm going to put that away now, back in its box. And I've never had any problems with these paints from Paul Rubens. I think they're pretty good, especially if you're a beginner or you want something that you can take with you when you go traveling. It's a handy, nice purple set. So we'll leave it at that for now, and I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so because I'm going to be offering this as a prize for our giveaway for the end of August, I'm not going to open it and I'm not going to use it for this video today. Take my word for it, the paints are good and approximately the same as these ones here. And this is what I am going to use. 2 reasons. This is a QiaoMei watercolor set, 24 colours. Probably all that you need, really, to be quite honest. But of course, if you've got 52, you're even better off. But one of the reasons I want to use this is because I am planning to take this with me when I go on holiday to Egypt for 6 weeks later in October. Don't worry, you won't notice any difference. I will still be virtually in France and nothing will change. But anyway, I think I need to take some paints with me because I'm probably going to be doing some plein air painting in Cairo. So this is, at the moment, I'm wondering whether this will be good enough. And this is the swatch that I've done for it. And it's got some browns and it's got some bright colours. And I think it's pretty good. And it seems to work quite well. So, and it's very small and it's plastic and it's like, this one's metal. So it's more of the thing that you might want to take in the car, perhaps, but not necessarily in your backpack. So anyway, that's the swatch that came with it. I'm going to use this today, and I managed to find, I had already had that 52 set open, a different one that I had, and it had some of this paper. This is the paper that's in that set for the person that wins it. And I thought I would try that out. So I've done this little test painting, which I did film, and I'm going to run that at the end of this video so that you can see me painting that. But I didn't narrate it. I did it silently. So we'll just bung a bit of music on top of that, and you can watch that if you want at the end. Meanwhile, I have also done some loose leaves just to sort of play around with these paints. So I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to call this a bookmark. Okay, so I'm going to put some washi tape around the outside edge, if I can find it. And I'm into autumn at the moment. This morning, it felt like winter. I kid you not. It's actually brightened up now. That's no good. That's not long enough, is it? I'll leave that there for a minute. Yeah, it was raining It was cold. It was horrible. Do you think that's too narrow? No, I think that's about right. Yeah, it felt like, really felt like winter. But considering it's still only August, it's August the 20-something today. I don't know what's going on with the weather. There we are. So that gives us a nice edge. And I can just press that down so it sticks to the paper on top of my table. And I'm going to just loosely, very loosely, without any hesitation, repetition, or deviation, I'm just going to put some autumn-coloured leaves on here. So we'll paint starting from the top. And if you want, you can sort of put two colours in one, and you can put some stalks, stems, or whatever you want to call them. And the idea is to just do a complete mixture of colours and allow them to blend over the top of each other. I'm using a Drawwell brush here. This is Drawwell size 8 Maestro round. And that's black, so we'll just mix that with a bit of brown. And let's go for something really orangey and bright. And if we don't rinse our brush out in between, then we can pull colour through and keep it kind of unified. Don't worry too much about cleaning the palette. Okay, you want the occasional dab of red. You could even put your reds in first, so you make sure that you don't forget them. And so then we might want brown here, maybe here. And then I might wash my brush out now because I'm going to go to yellow. This one, this is a nice bright, clean yellow. A little bit like quinacridone gold. I think we need another dark brown down here. I'm going to bring another stem up here, I think. The other day I was painting some flowers in what colour was it I was doing them? Can't remember now, but I said it's a pity that flowers don't actually grow in this particular colour, and it's true, but that's the thing, you can change nature, can't you, if you want. I don't know whether autumn leaves ever really look much like this, but why not? I'm going to put, this is a very bright yellow, that one. Put another leaf there to fill that gap, put that there. And we can put a few sort of going over the edge. Sometimes that looks quite good. I need to put a bit more yellow on that one, it's gone too light. Okay, and then this is just fun, really. I'm going to go over the paint with my Japanese bamboo shaping tool and scratch out some veins in the middle of the leaves like that. Depending on how dry the paint is, you'll either get a darker line or a light line. So as you go over these, depending on how much water you've used, you get different effects. Like that one's darker, that one's darker, this one and that one were lighter. So it just depends, and that gives you quite a lot of, and this will dry darker. It'll settle because the paint sort of runs into the groove that you scratched. So that gives you quite a realistic looking centre vein. You don't have to do it with a pen, you can just do it by scratching so that you know that they're leaves. because that's a sort of like defining characteristic, isn't it, of a leaf. And you can just drag down a little bit of paint down the bottom there, or out the top, to make it a little bit sharper. You could put some berries on if you wanted to. You could pick up some really nice, dark, strong red, for example. Or actually, I think probably better, indigo. That's indigo there. And that would be a contrast. A little bit contrasty. Just leave a little tiny bit of light for a kind of shine. And just use them to fill in the gaps if you want to. And then, having done that, we need to put the hairdryer on it to dry them off. And then we can take off our tape. When you pull the tape off, your washi tape, try to pull it off at 90 degrees like that. Pull it out to the side, and then it's less likely to damage the paper. It's not quite dry yet. Now, the thing is, having done that, you've got choices as to what you could do next. And one thing that you could do, which I might do, is to take a dip pen like this one and do some line work on there. I might do it on this one, which is dry. So I'm going to get some paint ink, and this is sanguine. No, maybe we'll go for, let's go for walnut. I think that's the darkest brown I've got. And then, assuming you can open it, phew, you can have a play with that as well. So these dip brushes are very easy to get hold of. You can get them on Amazon, and you can just have a play doing lines of thick and thin. You don't have to match the actual shape of the leaf that you did. You can just go wherever you want. Whoops, that went off at a bit of a strange angle, didn't it? The thing to do is not to think too hard. You know, like Viviva says, meditate with art. I'd like them to introduce me to art. I've not met him yet. You're sort of building up when you do this, aren't you? I'm really laying the ink in very heavily, especially on these berries, to give them almost a three-dimensional feel. Because it's actually almost quite thick, and you can even scratch into it. And you can do whatever you want. Scritchy scratchy. It's just a kind of design. And then once you've done all of this, you're going to let it dry. And I think probably letting it dry is a reasonably good idea, rather than drying it with a hairdryer, because I've put the ink on fairly thickly and it probably could easily move around. Don't necessarily want that to happen. Okay. Okay, well that gives a fairly dramatic sort of result, doesn't it? And this one, the other one, put that over there. This one, you could do something entirely different, or you could leave it the way it is. I mean, you might want to take your white pen, one of these, and you could, as long as it's working, which they often aren't, you can go into the dark ones and do some light lines like that on the dark ones. They won't show up so much on the light ones. And then if you feel that way inclined, you can break into the dots and doodle type of way of depicting things. You can do all sorts. This is one of those little paintings that, you know, it looks absolutely fine, unadorned. But then if you decide that you're going to do other things to it, that can just make it a little bit more interesting. And you can go on and on and on. You can, obviously, you could get your Fudenosuke calligraphy pen as well. And you can put some black in here. You can sharpen things up with black. Thick and thin. Thick and thin. Thick, thin, thick, thin. So I think I'm going to leave it there now. That's probably enough to be going on with. It gives you a few ideas, perhaps, the things that you could do to make a kind of autumn mood for late August or September, whenever it happens to be, December, March. Sometimes you feel like doing autumn things other times of the year, don't you? You can have too much sun. So there we are. We have now got 3 options. This one I'm going to run now for you to watch if you wish. So hope you enjoyed that, and I'll let you go now, and I'll see you again soon with something else. So bye for now, everybody. Bye-bye. So I'm just going to now paint this, and using the same paints, I'm just going to do it on a small piece of paper like this. And this is the kind of motif that you can use for so many different things, you know, place cards, greetings cards, you name it. So I'm just going to do a rough outline starting with the stalk, and then we'll put the shape of the pumpkin in around that, like that. And then coming down from the front like this, showing the segments. And then I'm going to just quickly draw a little bird up here. Just basically a little oval with a beak. And don't forget, the legs come from right at the back of the body, like that. And put another one on this side, same kind of thing, just an oval. Don't really need to put a separate head. They don't really have a separate head. Well, they do, but it doesn't look like it. And the tail standing up, because that's kind of cute. So there we are, and then the pumpkin is going to be sitting on the ground. Probably paint that a bit on the greenish side. So then we'll pick up some of our yellow. We could use this one here, which is really quite like quinacridone gold colour. Let me just whack that in all over. And then I'm going to come back in with the orange. That's this one here. And you can use any yellow and any orange. In fact, you can use any colour you like, but traditionally these great big pumpkins are something on that kind of colour range. And we'll let that dry a little bit. And while that's happening, we'll just pick up a bit of red, and we'll just pop a bit of red in there for the breast of the bird. And then some brown. This is like raw sienna, this one, sort of kind of light brown, or this one. And just pop that on the top and let the two run in together. And the details we can do afterwards, once that's dried a little bit. So just keeping it nice and loose. We might as well use that colour too for the stalk. And then a bit more orange to draw in the segments. Like that. It's going to sort of bleed into itself and smooth out. And then we'll pop some yellow mixed with green. Down here. And just kind of pretend that those are leaves. And then having got to that point, we will just need to let it dry a bit. And then we can come back for the next level. So there's multiple ways that you could finish this off, but I think I'm going to use a sepia pen, a brown Winsor & Newton sepia fine liner, and a green, brush pen from Poetique. And I'm just going to indicate roughly here, if I can make it hit the paper, the veins of the leaves. Just indicate very, very slightly that these are pumpkin leaves. I'm not going to go into any details here. Just a little bit of leafiness here. And then we'll go for the pen, and this is 0.5 Winsor & Newton. I think the Winsor & Newton one's quite nice because they have this long barrel here. And I'm just going to put in the features of the birds, their little beaks, their little legs, very simply just little straight lines like that. And you can do them however you want, but it's just easy like that. And their little tails sticking up at the back, and their little wings. You can go around them if you want to sort of emphasize them. It depends how your paint has kind of worked out, really. And then we'll just emphasize the lines of the pumpkin a little bit with the pen. And this stalk can be darkened up a bit in some places. I have a feeling that my pen might be getting a little bit old. It's a bit reluctant to part with any ink. And we'll just put in some lines to give the shape of pumpkin. Yeah, it's a little bit erratic, this one. This pen, I mean. It's very difficult to see at the moment. It's quite dark. The problem is if I put the light on, everything goes kind of flickery, so that's no good. So anyway, there is version 2, completed more or less. And we could still, at this point, if I can find a brush, here we are. Looking at the comparison here, we need to perhaps think about making the birds just a little bit darker on their backs and tails. There we are. And maybe we'll also put a little bit more green in one or two dashing places. And then with the orange for the pumpkin, maybe a little bit of stroking there. And maybe a little bit of red, a little bit more red on their breasts, robins. So there we are, I'm going to call that a day. 2 pumpkins with 2 robins.